Hey guys! Okay, by now you have already watched the arts and craft Make Your Transformation Foldable, so we are going to move into talking about each of these transformation codes. I've got them color-coded. So the plus or minus D is pink, the plus or minus C is going to be in blue, the negatives out in front or inside are going to be green, and then the A and B, which is all about our vertical and horizontal compressions and stretches, those are going to be purple at the bottom. So what I'm going to ask you to do is open your foldable all the way flat where all your tabs and everything are visible, okay? And I want you to copy what you see. Pause the screen, copy everything, and then press play when you're ready. Perfect. Okay. So I want to start by going over the vertical shifts up and down. We call that transformation D. Anytime there is a number, D, or a constant, added or subtracted after your grouping symbol. So after your absolute value or after your parentheses, that means we're going to move either up or down. Let me see if I can center that. There we go. If you are ever adding a number after your grouping symbols, that means we are going to move our graph up. If it says +3, our vertex would move up 3 spaces, and our graph would have the exact same pattern, facing the same direction, it's just 3 dots higher. Contrary, if I have a -3 after my grouping symbols, then I'm going to be moving my graph down. Take that vertex, count it down, 1, 2, 3, or just look at it. Same pattern, same shape, same direction. The only difference is it started 3 spaces down. So plus or minus 3 after a grouping symbol controls my Y. It moves us up or down. Let's talk about the blue. What if I do plus or minus a number C, but it's inside the grouping symbols? The way I think about this is if you were trapped in a parenthesis or trapped in an absolute value with your X, they would definitely lie to you. So I remember the rules as being backwards anytime I'm inside of my grouping symbol. So if I see +2, I'm moving to the left actually. If I see a -2, I'm moving to the right actually. So let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, so for the blue ones, if I see X +2, I'm moving left. On the absolute value, you can pretty much just move the vertex and then copy the exact same pattern. You don't have to extend your graph all the way out here. Just go as far as the coordinate plane allows you. Bigger graph, bigger arrow or bigger V, right? All right, same idea on the other side. If I have an X -2, that -2 is lying to me. I'm actually going to move to the right. So I move my vertex to the right 2 spaces, and then I repeat the exact same shape, exact same graph I've got going on. Okay, kind of looks like a Nike symbol, facing left, facing to the right. All right, I'm going to pause for just a second. If you need to copy anything that you missed for the pink and the blue, all of the shifts, do that right now. Perfect. All right, so we're going to move into the reflections. Anytime you have a minus sign, either inside of your grouping symbols or before the grouping symbol, that's going to make a reflection. It's important to know which way you're reflecting. If it reflects before the grouping symbol, that means we're going to be moving over the x-axis. Basically, my x is normal, my y's are changing. So if you think about it this way, this +4 up here is going to move down here and become a -4, right? This +2 is going to move down here and become a -2. So what happens is my whole graph is just going to flip upside down like this. Okay? Each of my x's stay the same, but my y's are becoming negative. If they were negative on the bottom, they would move up to the top. They're flipping over this axis. Okay? All right, what about if that x is on the inside? Well, if the x is on the inside, that means my x's are changing. My y's are staying exactly the same. Now, I changed this one to a square root because if I reflect an absolute value over the y-axis, it would look exactly the same, right? All right, so this time we are going over the y-axis. This +4 is going to become a -4. This +1 has become a -1. So if I take all those dots off for a second, we are going to go the same path, just to the left. Okay, reflecting over the y-axis keeps the y's the same, but my x's are becoming negative. Okay, If you need any time to pause that screen, copy what you see. Otherwise, we are going to go ahead and move on to our last topic, which is stretches and compressions. Okay, I want to zoom in real close, make sure you have all these details, because I'm only going to give you one example. The example I'm going to go over is a 1/2. A 1/2 is between 0 and 1. That makes it a compression. Let me highlight this real quick. The 1/2 is between 0 and 1, so that makes it a compression. If you had something that looked like 2 absolute value of x, then it would be a stretch. Okay? All right, let me take this off. Perfect. So if I think about compressing each of my y's, well, this one's at 4, this one's at 2, this one's at 1. So compressing it would look like this. I'm going to take the 4 down to a 2, the 2 down to a 1, and the 1 down to a 1/2. This is where my new line is. Okay? Obviously, it's going to be the same on the other side, so I'm going to take off all those numbers and dots and just graph it. I'm going to go through the 1/2, the 1, and then the 2. And I'm going to mirror that same idea on the other side. Oops, not quite. There we go. All right, so let's switch to the other side. Remember, anytime you're in the grouping symbols, you are a liar. Okay, so we just talked about a 1/2 would mean a compression, and a 2 would be a stretch. But if I move into the grouping symbols, now look at them, they're backwards. Now when the B is bigger than 1, it's actually a compression. When the B is between 0 and 1, it's going to be a stretch. So if I had, let's use the same example we just saw a second ago. If I put that 1/2 inside, it's actually going to change the direction. It's going to stretch it. If I change it to a 2, let's go through this one. Basically what I'm going to do is compress each of the locations of the x's by 2. All right, so if I have a 4 here, I'm going to compress it by 2. Okay, so I'm going to cut that 4 basically in half. 4 compressed becomes a 2. 2 compressed becomes a 1. I'm moving each of these inside. Notice how it gets skinnier. It got smushed in from the left and right. I'm going to repeat that going the other way. So even though it's a bigger number, if it's inside the grouping symbols, he is a compression. Okay? All right, I'm going to zoom out. If you have anything else here that you have not yet copied, please, please, please do that right now. You're going to use these notes to answer your compare and contrast discussion question on the next pages. You are going to use this to help you do your assignment on Monday. Have a great day, guys.